Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Reality Recap. I'm your host, Queen E, and today we're going to talk about a new show called Are You My First? I've been hinting at this show for the last few weeks, but we're finally going to get into the first 5 episodes. Only the first 5 because I did want to get into the rumored cast of Love Island games. Now, this hasn't been confirmed, and probably by the time this comes out, the actual confirmed cast will be out, and we'll talk about them when they come out too. But when I saw articles picking it up too, like well-accredited articles, I said, well, we might as well talk about it as well. So before I get into it, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at Reality Recap Pod. Did I say TikTok or TikTok? Y'all know which one I'm talking about. And then just a reminder, you can find us on Apple Podcasts with ad-free listenership if you have a subscription. So, guys, I was looking at this cast and I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's giving my fantasy cast. Some people I love, some people I don't care for, but I feel like that's what makes a good cast. You don't need to love everybody. You don't need to hate everybody, but we need to don't even hate anybody. Let's just start there. I think like a nice balance between like, I love these people, I'm indifferent about these people, and I cannot stand these people is a good show. So we're gonna start with Cachet. She was from USA season 3. Honestly, I'm glad that I'm just gonna pretend like these people are on the cast, okay? I'm glad that she's gracing our screens again because I feel like her reputation now is being like Cinco's ex. That was mainly her story on season 3. And we know that carried on into the challenge when they both were on the challenge and Cinco, was moving weird with Tiffany and stuff. So the fact that she's coming back, maybe exploring with other people. And after I told you guys that she and Zeta were actually approached to be on Beyond the Villa, I just wanted to see more of her in a different light. So hopefully she does come on the show. Next is Cassie. She is from USA season 5 and season 6. Baby girl, hang it up. Hang it up. I'm sorry. I think I'm done seeing Cassie, I think I've had enough. I'll be completely honest with you. You guys let me know if you want Cassie. I know one of my YouTube friends, Tammy Talks, she loves Cassie. So maybe you guys love Cassie too. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Next, we have Nicole from USA season 6. I feel like this one's going to be a little controversial. I think she's either going to be loved or going to be met with a lot of disdain from the audience. I don't think there's many people who are indifferent about her. I think when they look at her, they have very strong feelings about her. So I'll be intrigued to see how they respond to her potentially being back on our screens. Then we have Beldasha from the season that just ended, season 7. See, I have questions because isn't Beldasha the same one who had a really hard time like opening up to the guys or being physical with the guys, even though Love Island really calls for that? And yes, it's Love Island games, but it still is very full on physically. You still have to sleep in the same bed with people. You still have to kind of make connections for the audience to root for you. So I just wonder how Beldasha is gonna fare on the show. But we'll see. Next is Andreina from same season 7. I'm here for it. I kind of wish that she would be on a different show like Perfect Match. Now, Perfect Match is it's a mess over there too. But I just feel like her aesthetic, her vibe, her like trajectory is kind of with like those people, like the Netflix people. I'm not shading any network, but I don't know, just like Love Island again? Like, no, I want to see you on something different. I want to see you on like Traitors or on Perfect Match or I don't know. Am I tripping? Maybe it's just me. Next is Kaz. Kaz is from UK season 4. She also was on this most recent All-Star season. She ended it with, what's that man's name? The follower. What was his name? I forget. Anyways, they're no longer together. It's so funny because she kept swearing up and down on social media, oh, y'all just don't know. We're long game. We're this, we're that. At least that was my impression from the content that I was seeing online. Just for you to be on games. The connection didn't make sense in the first place. So, girl, I'm glad you hung it up. I'm glad you hung it up. Next is Alima from UK season 12. I am so happy to see her back. She was gone too soon. She was gone too soon, and a little flame of hers is actually going to be on this season as well, if this rumored cast is true. So I'm intrigued to see if things will actually develop between them. I actually didn't like the person who she had a little spark with, but I love Alima. I love what she stands for. I love how confident and outspoken she is. To have her on my screen again is an absolute treat. Yes, please. Then we have Faye. Faye's from UK season 7, one of the most explosive islanders to come from UK. Of course, there's a long legacy of drama even before Faye's season, but Faye had, I think, a record-breaking number of Ofcom reports. And Ofcom is like, reporting to Ofcom is if you see something on TV that is like inappropriate, or you just have a complaint. There was a record number of complaints regarding Faye. And Faye is back. I will say, with time and seeing, life after Teddy and stuff like that, I've kind of warmed to Faye. But yeah, if we wanted somebody to give some lip, she's definitely the one. Definitely. Then next we have Mimi. Mimi is from Australia season 6. This is how I find out that Mimi and Em have left their partners from season 6. Shocker to me. I do think one of Mimi's old flames is going to be on the show as well. Once I get to the guys, then I'll have my memory jogged. But I liked Mimi. I think similar to Faye, she's very outspoken. She has no problem telling people how she feels about other connections, about the person themselves. Like, I'm excited to see her. I'm excited to see Em as well. She's from the same season. She is not very girl like. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not here for, let's just all pretend to be friends and be girls and we love each other so much and everything. If it's not natural, it's okay. Mimi and Em were two girls who weren't just doing the whole go along to get along with all the girls because like we're all girls or like, both of them were not like that at all. They were close to themselves with somebody else. I think I don't remember who their third comrade was, but I really like those two girls. I'm excited to see them again. Then we see Cindy from France. I didn't watch France, but I did see all the compilation videos of Cindy and her man, who I did get a glimpse of. He's going to be potentially on the cast too. They had such a beautiful story. I think his name is Edgar. Like, the way this man was so enamored by Cindy as a Black woman, and a Black woman on reality TV, and a dark-skinned Black woman at that. To see somebody be so loved on the way that Edgar was living on her based on the clips that I saw, it was absolutely amazing to watch. I said, this is what I want for all my sisters. But she's on the show. So clearly it means things didn't work out. I want to know what happened. And maybe we're going to get the lowdown if they come on the show. And last for the girls, we have Adele. She's from Spain season 1. I've never watched Spain, so I don't know what she's coming with. Maybe she's coming with a lot of heat. We'll see when she hits our screens, if she in fact hits our screens. On to the boys. We are starting with Calvin from season 2 of USA. I liked Calvin. I think Calvin was the guy who was doing a lot of like dances and stuff too. And he's done some dance videos on TikTok with Justine. I like him a lot. He was one of those white boys that I was like, wait a minute now. Let me change my type for a second. Okay, he's cute. I like him. Then we have Isaiah from USA season 4. Okay, let me not be too harsh, right? Isaiah was with Sydney from season 4 as well, and they had quite a tumultuous relationship. Like, she was always crying, he had a wandering eye, like it was very hectic. I think on the outside it was cheating that broke them up. Let me know if I have that incorrect, but I do feel like that's the reason why their relationship didn't continue. The problem that I have with Isaiah is just that he's so young-minded. I know in general, I'm looking at the guys here, I think a lot of them are quite young, but he's very immature. Very immature. Maybe time has changed. His ex, Sydney, she went on Australia season 6, and she's in a different headspace. She still wasn't successful, but she's like looking at relationships differently. She's a lot more self-assured, and maybe that could be the same for Isaiah. We'll just have to watch and see, child. Next is Kendall from USA season 6. I don't care for Kendall on the show. I really don't. I don't know. Like, I don't want him to do his nasty. Everything's nasty. You ready to get nasty? I'm okay without it. honestly. As we saw, Nicole is going to be on the show, but we did see on Beyond the Villa that they have since mended their relationship. So I don't think that there's going to be that same tension there that the show probably would have been looking for if they didn't resolve their issues on Beyond the Villa. And also I wonder if they are in fact going to be on the show, why the heck would the producers put them on Beyond the Villa? Keep that tension alive for as long as possible. That's what I would have done. You see how in season 1 they had, Johnny and Selly on the show, and those two hadn't really spoken in a while and they had to resolve their issues on the show. I would expect that, you know? Okay. Next is Chris. Chris is from USA season 7. Chris gives me meh. I don't think I'm too... Wait, hold on. Wait. Ain't Chris supposed to be playing ball overseas? Baby, what you doing here? I just had that revelation that this man made the whole thing. Oh, yeah, I could be overseas playing ball right now. Okay, so why aren't you over there doing that right now? Or at least training for it. Chris. Okay. Next, we have Zach from UK season 10. Now, I was a little bit confused to see Zach because I thought he was still with Molly, but it seems like they have broken up again. So they got together on the show. She got dumped. He turned to Whitney and I think somebody else, Katie. I think so. And then Molly came back as a Casa girl, and then they got together, and then they broke up again on the outside, and then they got together again. And now they've broken up again. Honestly, I don't even know why I know that much about them, but I'm not mad to see Zach. I just don't know what he would give, because outside of him being big and tall, which we love that over here, I wasn't really intrigued at anything else he had to offer. I also wasn't a big fan of Molly though. So it could be the fact that he was partnered with somebody who I didn't care for too much. So I therefore didn't care about him. Because when he was talking to Whitney for a moment, I said, well, I can get with this. But that didn't last for long. So, No, I shouldn't ship it. I know with this whole like Nick and Landria thing, like everybody's so infatuated with these interracial couples right now. But low key, if Zach was to get with somebody like Alima, I think I'd like him again. I think I would. Because I don't want to see Alima with Ben again. We're going to get into Ben. But Alima and Zach, I don't know. Maybe I ship it. Should I ship it because she liked the white guy and he liked the black girl? You know, there's more to types than just that. But, you know, I would like to see it. Next is Tyreek. He's from the same season as Zach. He's from UK season 10. If they wanted anybody to bring the drama, Tyreek is absolutely the person. Absolutely. I could have sworn he said online that he's not going to go back on these shows unless they're throwing a big bag at him. So I'm so curious to know if in fact he is going to be on the show, because what are y'all shoveling out for Tyreek? Because the man said he wasn't going to come. But I'm glad to see him. If you don't know Tyreek, he was from season 10. He had one of the biggest relationships to come out of that. He was with Ella. Ella has since, left that relationship, and she's dating a guy who was on another dating show. It was that dating show where these like athletes would date undercover to see if you truly have feelings for them. And she's with one of those guys right now with a very public relationship now. I actually didn't finish that show. I think I got up to like episode 6 or something. I really liked it. I like reality TV a little bit too much, guys. It might be an addiction. Anyways, to see Tyreek back on the show, knowing how much carnage he loves to dish out, whether it's online or on screen, I'm so ready. Somebody else who has a mouth like Tyreek is Ben. Ben is from UK season 12. That's the season that just ended. He had a little flame with Alima, right? Before Alima, though, he had some connections with some other women, and he was called out numerous times for being a lot disrespectful in how he speaks to women until he got with Alima. Alima is one girl who demands respect no matter where it's coming from. And I will say that small moment that we did see between him and Alima made him likable in my eyes. And even on the outside, people have been like, stirring up rumors that maybe they were dating or maybe they were trying to explore something. I honestly wouldn't be mad at it. I think sometimes who you're with makes a difference on how you are received. And if he was with Alima, I think I'd be okay with Ben. I don't think I'd be too mad at Ben, you guys. Y'all let me know. Next is Casey. Now this list says Casey's from UK season 9. False. Casey's from UK season 9. UK season did he go on 10 or 11? The All-Stars. He's also on, is it The Only Way is Essex, or what's that other one? It's The Only Way is Essex and Made in Chelsea. It's either one of those two shows that he could be on. This man loves the freaking camera. He will do whatever it takes to be on camera. Simultaneously, he's going to waste your time. To any of the women who are interested in wanting a long-term relationship, do not place your bets on Casey. Okay? You know what? If Casey's going to be there, then I do need Kaz to be on there too, because Kaz, when she saw Casey on All Stars, she immediately called him out for being a two-timer, for being a time waster, for being very unserious. If he's going to be on the show, then I do need Kaz on the show. I do think Kaz needs to hang it up. But, and you know, with Kaz, it's more so like an age thing. Like, I'm trying to think who here is in their late 20s. Maybe Zach, maybe Calvin, Kendall. But everybody else is quite young that I'm looking at from the people that I know, right? So I just don't know if this is the right group for you, especially because you just came out of something with a really young guy and it didn't work out, probably because of things that came with being with a really young guy. So yeah, I don't know if this is her group of guys to be dating, but if she's coming to solely call out Casey, I'll allow it. Next is Dylan. Dylan is from Australia season 6. He had a connection with Mimi. They split up because he wasn't being serious about her. They went and explored 2 completely different connections. And I think by the end of the season, they left with those people, but they ended up rekindling on the outside. So I don't know where their relationship stands. Are they coming to do the okie doke on us to make us think that, you know, they have nothing going on, but then really they do have something going on and then they stick together to the end? I don't know. It's getting a little bit fishy. If you guys know the tea on Dylan and Mimi, please let me know. But I'm not mad to see Dylan. Honestly, I do think that he had a lot of potential. He would just approach dating wrong. You know, he needs to be more vulnerable, more intentional if he wants something, you know, long term. Love Island Games is here for the games, but you never know what could, you know, spawn from being on the show. So if he really does want that, I think he has potential to find that. And there's a good selection of women on this alleged cast. So I actually have high hopes for Dylan. Who I don't have high hopes in is Zach. Zach is from Australia season 5. He was with Lucinda. Was that her name? He was with Lucinda, who had been on UK and Australia. He was perfect example. He was the ace of Australia. That's how I would classify him. I think that at the beginning, like, I was cool with the puppeteering, but near the end, I was just like, okay, this is enough. Like, I'm so tired of it. So to see him here on the show, I think he's going to clash with a few people. I think he's going to clash with Ben. I think he's going to clash with Tyreek. Potentially Dylan too, honestly. I think Zach is like too cool for school. Like, he probably won't even want to start any drama with anybody. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Next, we have Edgar, who is from France. Like I said before, Edgar and Cindy did have a relationship. He seemed so sweet and so loving. So I'm really hopeful that, you know, maybe they can rekindle. But if not, he could find one of these girls to have a connection with. Maybe Adele or M. Or, you know, I'm excited to see Edgar. And last is Tato from South Africa, season 1. I don't even know why I bothered to say season 1 because it probably is going to be the first and last season. Listen, I watched South Africa. I loved it because it reminded me of home. I'm Zimbabwean, if you didn't know. But the production was absolutely horrible. The production was horrible. It was horrible. So it's good to see him come on a show that, you know, is a little bit better produced. Maybe he'll shine. Maybe we'll get more shine for the South African people, and maybe they'll, you know, reignite it. Because didn't that happen with Australia? Australia was on ice for a few years and they reignited it. So that could happen with South Africa. We don't know. I'm excited to see who's actually going to be on the cast. But if it is this cast, I think this is a star-studded cast. Got a good balance of people I love, people I'm indifferent with, and people I cannot stand. I think that's a recipe for a good season. So let's get into Are You My First? You guys, let me me share a little bit about myself. Okay. I can't say too much because my mom's in the other room. Okay. So I was like, oh, another show about virgins. Literally, this is the third show this year that I watched about virgins. Don't ask me why. I don't know why they intrigue me. I was one not too long ago, unless she's asking. So I was just like, yeah, I'm totally in. I love this. In the same way that I loved Love on the Spectrum, I feel like it gives us a look at dating in like the simplest way possible. And I hope that doesn't come across like insensitive, but it was just nice to see like the issues that some of the people are dealing with. And it's like, it really doesn't have to be that hard. Like it doesn't have to be like that. I loved watching Love on the Spectrum. And I feel like everybody who's in the dating space should watch Love on the Spectrum to see how easy love can be. It really does not have to be as complicated as we make it. And I feel like these people on the show kind of overcomplicated things. And it's like, it could all be so simple. It could all be so simple. I'm looking at this like, it is so simple. Can we just get it together? A lot of them think the reason why they're struggling with dating is because they're virgins. No, it is so many other things, and we're going to get into it. I haven't finished the season. I've only seen episodes 1 to 5, right? But as a late bloomer, I resonated with this cast completely. Listen, my first kiss was at 21. I'm almost 30 and, lost a V-card not too long ago. So I feel like these are my people. These are my people. We understand each other. So a lot of the people are virgins for different reasons. Some people it's for religious reasons. Some people it's because they haven't found the one, or it's for medical reasons. And we are introduced to somebody named Rachel. She has vaginismus. And with vaginismus, it basically is like the tightening of your vaginal canal when anything like comes near it. So she is petrified of even like dabbling into that at all. So I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I thought like that was just not a hoax per se, but I feel like in the last year or so, I've heard a lot more about vaginismus. Like I said, this is the third show about virgins that I've seen this year, and that's been a theme in all the shows. So, I'm educating myself more on that, which is good because this show has a segment where they are talking about like sex and sexual health, and the ignorance is sad. The ignorance is sad. We should all be more informed, but let me not jump the gun. Okay. So, everybody has their reasons for why they are still holding on to their V card, right? Godwin, he's a beautiful man. He's, tall, he's buff, he's from Ghana. Shout out Ghana. My man is from Ghana too. And he says the reason why he's holding on to his V card is because the people around him when he was growing up were very disciplined. They don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't have sex. And so he thought, if I'm also trying to live a disciplined life, I'm going to do the same. Problem is, this man flocks to any lady with a heartbeat and a cooch. Okay. I don't know what he was thinking, but he definitely was like weaving a messy web coming onto the show. He was talking to this girl, that girl, this girl, that girl. He finally said that his top two were, I think it was Jade and Daya. Yeah, and they're both checking for him. His top pick is Jade. She is more so the type that he would go for. Daya is not his type, even though she's very much so, he is very much so her type. He is like, yeah, kid in the candy store, so excited to see all the women. And I'm not gonna lie, for a second I was looking at him like, you really a virgin for real? I don't know if I buy it. I truly don't know if I buy it. The way this man is so eager to move around the room, it made me think that he was up to some nefarious stuff. Somebody else who got questioned if they were still holding on to their V card was Rachel. And I'm not going to lie, she does seem like somebody who would maybe be like more sexually liberated and stuff until you see her on the show more often. And I had to catch myself in like typecasting her because it doesn't have a look. Like not exploring sexually doesn't have a look. I feel like there's kind of an air of confidence that you have when you are like navigating dating once you've crossed that threshold. But even for me, when I started dating, I was still very much chaste. And who would have known? Maybe they did know, and I just, I'm pretending like they didn't know. Maybe they did know. Maybe they didn't know. So the guys are starting to feel the pressure because after they do this crush ceremony, where they disclose who they have a crush on. The girls do the same. There's a new arrival and his name is Mike. Mike is 34. He's waiting for marriage. He's a family man. He's ready to settle down and all the things. He said he thought that he would lose it at 24, but because he hasn't found the one, he is still waiting 10 years later. The reason why he's holding on to it is because of religious reasons. I think he said he's LDS, meaning Latter-day Saints. There's a lot of them on here. I think, is Rachel one? I'm not quite sure. There's a guy named Andrew. We're going to meet him. He's also LDS. Noah's LDS. Yeah, a lot of people, it's for religious reasons. He is one of them. So he was actually on The Bachelorette. For those who've watched it, do you remember him? Let me know in the comments down below. And he comes in with something that is a physical V card. And the V cards are basically your ticket to go on a date. And he decides to pick Carissa. Now, Carissa was also a hot commodity. Noah likes her. Mike likes her. I think Godwin was also talking to her at the beginning, but right now the focus on Carissa was coming from Noah and now Mike. It's good news for somebody like Maddie, who is into Noah. So Maddie and Noah, they kind of have a connection going, but he's been focused on Carissa, right? Maddie opens up about how hard dating is, you know, still holding on to her V card, and how even from like high school days, she's always struggled in terms of being like second place. She'll never be somebody's first option. She'll never be properly pursued. And so she feels like she has to be the pursuer in relationships because nobody's doing it for her, right? Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think sometimes when we don't do a self-check, we are actually projecting. And throughout this season, I feel like I saw many moments of Maddie projecting this insecurity. She says, I'm extremely insecure. I have low self-worth. My self-esteem is in the pits. I never get pursued. I'm always second choice. Like after a certain amount of time, like people can see that like just emanating off of you. And I would like for her to be a little bit more cognizant of that. I don't think it's a bad thing to be in that state. Like, it happens, at least, you know, she acknowledges it. But from there, what are we going to do about it? You know? Okay, you're often not picked first. That sucks. Let's do things to work on our self-confidence, to work on our self-worth, because it could be, I don't know if this is the reason, but it could be because people don't see that love that you have for yourself. They're not really attracted to you. She's a beautiful girl, gorgeous girl. So it has to be something else, in my opinion. I think it could be the fact that she's projecting, but I don't know. It could be me. So then we have a Carissa who comes back from this date. We have Noah Hills, who is sulking because he's like, oh, I feel like all the guys are going to pick you now. And you went on this date and it seemed like it was a good date and whatever. And he even promised Carissa that if he got the chance to go on a date that he would take her. But the way that he was sulking, it made me seem like he's going to be bitter. And bitter he was. Like, the girl did not pick to go on this date. She had a conversation with the man. The man liked her and they connected on a lot of things. Like, they're both religious. They're both looking to build a family. You know, they're both waiting for marriage. That is very important to the both of them. They both have similar interests and stuff. Like, I don't know why this man is like faulting her for creating a natural connection with somebody, and also not even being picked to go on the date. It just happened that way and they just happened to hit it off. But anyways, that's what he did, child. The date was really nice. It was ATVs and a picnic. I kind of like how Mike was very assertive at the beginning, but Carissa's gonna later on complain about him becoming very passive after their date. So I'm not quite sure what the reason for that was. He later tells her, no, like I actually do like you. So let's put in that effort, you know? It seems like that's the through line with a lot of this cast. Like they complain a lot about their dating woes, but then when you ask them what they're doing about what's going on in their dating life, they're not really doing much. Except Maddie. Maddie's gonna put herself out there to pursue these guys because they're not pursuing her. Moving on, somebody who's a little more assertive is Dea. We know that Dea is into Godwin. She's making it very clear that she wants him badly. And for a second, he was sold on her too. He was like, you know what? She's not my typical type, but she's really putting putting in that work. She's adding the pressure. And I appreciate somebody who's being very intentional about me. He's still focused on Jade though. Jade is somebody who he typically would go for. The problem with Jade and him is that Jade doesn't like some of his values, right? So he says that he doesn't really believe in static gender roles. He thinks that that's a bit fluid. That could be fluid in his relationship. However, he still believes that the man should be the head of the house. So according to Jade, this is like toxic masculinity. As an African and as somebody who's looking for a more traditional type of marriage and a relationship, I personally don't see it as toxic masculinity. You guys can let me know down below if you think that his stance is toxic masculinity. But it kind of made sense being the fact that he was raised in Ghana and he, you know, was looking towards men who are very like regimented and disciplined. Like he probably would see himself as being that person too. There was a miscommunication with that though, because he later has another conversation with Jade and he's like, no, when I said like, oh, I like acts of service and stuff. It's not to say that the woman is just supposed to serve me as the head of the house. It's just that it would be nice if certain things were done for me as a sign of love. And I would also do the same. I feel like that was explained when he said he doesn't believe in like very static gender roles. But anyways, they ended up clearing it up, which is good. Then we have Michael and Rachel. They both have a crush on each other. Guys, am I tripping or have we seen them before? Rachel looks very familiar and so does Michael. And they're very like Beauty and the Geek coded. Did anybody ever watch that show? It's an old show now. And basically they would bring these like supermodels and these super geeks and come on the show and they're helping each other. Like the girls help the guys like become more cool and the guys help the girls with like knowledge, literally with like expanding their knowledge and education. And after a while, some people would actually develop relationships and they're together to this day. These two are very Beauty and the Geek coded. But anyways, he is saying so many cringy things, incredibly cringy. And I would think, ain't no way this man is securing some puma on the show. Ain't no way. This girl thinks he is the bee's knees. She's like, he is so cool. Like he's so smart and he's so great. And I'm thinking, really? Okay. So they end up, I think it was on the boat that was by the water. They ended up going there and they shared their first kiss. And she literally said, it was an out of body experience. Out of body experience. The kiss wasn't even that intense. Not to me, at least. An out of body experience. You know, dating really could be this simple. If you like somebody, just tell them you like them. You know, if you think they're cool, even though they're a nerd, that's cool. If it's for you, it's for you. She said, although she does have vaginismus, that she is looking for that strong connection. She has yet to really find somebody who's on her level, somebody who's intentional, somebody who has the same goals and values as her. So for her to find that person, even though they may not be packaged in the way that she would have imagined, it works. And it works for them. And I love that for them. So Rachel is excited to tell all the girls about her kiss. And, you know, they're all excited. They're like, oh my gosh, girl, yeah. Okay, let's talk about our connections too. And basically, Jade is starting to voice that she has concerns about Godwin's toxic masculinity, if you want to call it that, right? And so this is where Rachel takes the opportunity to say, well, to be honest, I did hear him say things. Well, I did hear that he said things today that made it seem like he was locking in on her. He basically was like, oh, we could wrap this up and leave the show together. And I think that's Godwin's mistake. He gets very eager, and he says a lot of things that he likely doesn't even mean, which gets him caught. So yeah, you got to be careful, Godwin. But basically now Jade is concerned that she might be putting her eggs in the wrong basket. So she shifts her attention to Ty. Ty has been looking at Jade this entire time. She is at the top of his list. Not going to lie to you guys, I never saw that one coming at all. She's like, you know what? I don't think that would be the person who I would be gravitated towards immediately, but I do like that emotional and mental connection that we have between each other. So my question to you guys would be, what type of connection would you rather invest in? The one where maybe your values aren't there all the way, but that like connection, that attraction, you know what I'm saying? It's undeniable. Or that person who you really wouldn't look twice at, but that mental connection is there, that intentionality is there. Like, which one would you place your bets on? Of course, we'd rather have both. obviously. But I'm looking at her situation and I'm honestly struggling to see who would be the better bet. I do think that the values thing is still just a little miscommunication. But honestly, seeing the way that I almost called him Edwin. Godwin has been acting on the show. Maybe that isn't the person to place your bets on. But I also don't want her to be with somebody where she has to force that physical connection. Like if it's not there, it's not there. And that's okay. But we'll see what she decides to do later on in the show. They end up playing a game called Cherry Pop. And this is where the men are answering questions about like sex. And clearly there's a lot of misinformation that's been told to them. One of the guys thought that pregnancy lasts 6 months. And a lot of them thought that, you know, with repeated sexual activity, your canal stretches to a point where it'll never get back to normal. Now, riddle me this. What happens at childbirth? You dilate up to 10 centimeters and you think that it stays that way forever? I think we need to all be a little bit more intentional about learning about sex and sexual health. I honestly wish the show did that more. The other 2 shows that I'd watched this year, they did a lot of that. They dived into like talking about women's periods, talking about men's sexual health, talking about, you know, like pregnancy, just gestation and all that. Like, I think the show had a little bit of a missed opportunity because for some of these people, yes, it's religious for a handful of them, but for some of them, it's literally just fear. And I think if there was more education, if they knew more, if they knew that it's not this big, scary thing, maybe they would have a different feeling around, you know, keeping their V card and stuff. Not to say everybody needs to go willy-nilly. You stay chaste if you want to stay chaste. Chaste? Y'all know. But it would have been nice to use this as a learning experience. So like if they had more questions, you could ask more questions and not just leave it at a game. But anyways, the person who wins is Noah. And this is the same man who promised to take Carissa on a date because she went on a date with Mike. However, he decides to take Maddie instead. So this is a little bit, you know, contentious because Carissa's like, you made that whole big deal about me going on a date and now you have the opportunity, you don't take me? Like, what the heck, you know? While everybody is, you know, staying behind at the villa, they're playing this truth or dare. Honestly, it should just be called truth. Truth or, oh my gosh, this is so awkward. I can't even call it a dare. Because the dares were like, kiss somebody's hand. What? I'm sorry. It definitely gave Bible camp. And this is speaking from a girl who went to Bible camps. Okay. It definitely gave Bible camp. Yeah, it was truth or truth. Anyways, the person who was able to actually get a kiss that night was Maddie, who was on the date with Noah. They were doing this whole like, oh, what's your kiss face? Oh, let me stare into your eyes. Maybe you're eventually going to kiss me. And I just want it to be on the record that triangle method works. Okay. I know some people who know me in real life who came to me like, oh girl, you tripping with that whole triangle method thing. It works. If both people are keen and you look at this eye and you look at that eye and you look down at the lips, eventually y'all gonna kiss. I'm telling you, it is foolproof. If both people are interested, it's gonna happen. Someone who's not having as easy of a time at getting a kiss is Andrew. So he's really into Katya, right? Katya is somebody who at the crush ceremony, she selected everybody. She said, I have a crush on everyone. I'm not going to place my bets on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to, you know, spread my wings. And Andrew, he's kind of like, I feel like that was a cop out. Like, I'm trying to get to know her, but she's trying to get to know everybody. And I don't even think she's genuinely attracted to everybody. So as he's talking to her, obviously, you know, he's trying to get in for a kiss. And she's like, no. You got to work a little harder to get it. And I do agree that, you know, if she don't want to give it up, she should not give it up, you know? And I'm talking about a kiss, not anything else, but also that. If she doesn't want to kiss him, she shouldn't kiss him. But you could tell she has walls up, like the walls of Jericho, baby. Like, this girl does not want to let anybody in at all. Eventually, she does admit that she is scared. She says that she has an avoidant attachment style. She wants to be married. She wants to have kids. But once you let somebody in, once you become vulnerable, that's when you get hurt. But that's kind of the point. Like, love is a risk. And if it blows up in your face, it sucks. Completely understand. A lot of us have been there before. But if you put yourself out there and it works, you get to experience something so beautiful, which you may not have been able to because you were closing yourself off so much. So literally there were some other guys who were interested in her too, but they just stopped trying because she was so closed off. Andrew's the only one who's still going to keep trying to chip away at that wall. So we'll see if he is successful. Things then take a little bit of a weird turn between Noah and Carissa. Basically, Carissa is still upset at the fact that she wasn't chosen to go on the date with Noah, right? Noah feels as if she is now like being bitter with him because she's like, you know what? I think we should just be friends. Like, let's explore our friendship instead of this whole romantic thing. And at first he was like, okay, yeah, I think that it's nice to take off that pressure and to do something that's like a little easier, a little bit more chill. We're not trying to like step on each other's toes with other connections and stuff. Like, we're trying to keep it easy. But then basically he thinks that she is now doing this to spite him. And I've realized that Noah has a very inflated sense of self. He thinks very highly of himself, which can be a good thing until it gets to a certain point. I think that he is so confident, it's cocky, and that could be why he's struggling so much in dating. He's going to have another situation where he's extremely self-absorbed and it blows up in his face. In my opinion, it blew up in his face, but I'll wait to get there. So before the first virgin sacrifice, don't ask me why they call it that, okay? Basically, it's when people get dumped. Michael, unfortunately, did encounter a family issue back home, so he had to leave. He wasn't able to tell anybody that he was leaving, so everybody's discovering this at the virgin sacrifice, right? Of course, Rachel is distraught. She's in tears. She's very, very sad, but she decides to stay. Then everybody goes into the confessional room, and they vote for who they want to be dumped. I think it was 2 boys and a girl. So the 2 guys were Crash and Hakeem. I didn't even know who these guys were. I said, oh, welcome to the show and goodbye. Like, okay. And then in a tiebreaker between Carissa and Katya, Carissa went home. And this is mainly because Noah was speaking up about the fact that, oh, Carissa's so bitter. Like, Carissa's upset that I have a better connection with Maddie. And so other guys who hadn't maybe had a chance to talk to Carissa, they kind of voted the same way. And I was not happy about it at all. Katya only has one connection. And even that connection is very rocky. She has no intention of connecting with any of the other guys. And even the guys who she's connecting with, she's making it really difficult. Carissa had 2 connections. Sure, it's not working out with Noah anymore, but like Mike is right there and they have something really strong. So the fact that the guys voted her off, I did not like that at all. She was blindsided. Everybody was blindsided. But this now was like a wake up call for Katya. She's now realizing if she wants to experience this great love story, she's going to have to put herself out there a little bit more. She does tell Andrew that she is very scared of commitment. She's scared of getting hurt. She's scared of being vulnerable. He's like, listen, I'm willing to meet you where you're at as long as we're walking together. Because if you're walking away from me, then I don't get the point of us doing this. He says he's locked in on her. He really doesn't see himself talking to any of the other girls in the villa. Remember that he said that. And they share a kiss. The next day we have 2 new girls who enter the villa. We have Brooklyn, who's a virgin for religious reasons. She is Latter-day Saints as well. And we have Farha, who is a virgin because she has yet to find a hopeless romantic who matches her vibe. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was shocked that she said she's looking for a hopeless romantic because she's also a hopeless romantic. Girl, where? She has the driest humor I've ever seen. Like, she's very like standoffish and cold, but she also has this like sweet vulnerable side that you really have to like dig down deep to get at. But I was shocked for her to say like, yeah, I'm such a hopeless romantic and I want somebody who's like that as well. Really? Goes to show, don't judge a book by its cover. You really never know. They both come in with a V card and they get to pick people who they want to go on a date with. Brooklyn picks Andrew and Farha picks Noah, but Noah also has eyes for Brooklyn as well. So he's going to try to navigate, both these women here. And he says, Brooklyn probably didn't pick me because I didn't make my intentions known enough. Because like, if I would have put myself out there, she definitely would have picked me. Such an inflated sense of self. I wish I was this confident in life. Like, oh no, you definitely would have picked me if I would have told you that I liked you. That's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. Luckily for him, Brooklyn actually is interested, mainly because he's also LDS. But be so for real. Somebody gave Noah a little too much gas. Because he's gassing himself way too much, if you ask me. But anyways, his eagerness to go on this date, he was so excited. He said, Maddie, who immediately blew up in his face because on this date with Farha, she lets it be known that she spends her time online debating with guys who are in the manosphere, and she is on OnlyFans. This man is shocked. Hands on his head, big shocked. The funniest thing about this is like, he's trying to affirm her, like, yeah, your body, your choice. And I love that you found a career for yourself and you're a self-made woman, you're an entrepreneur and stuff. But because of my religious beliefs, like, I don't respect it at all. He does not appreciate any kind of pornography, whether it's soft or otherwise. Like, he's not with it at all. So that was immediate shutdown for the both of them. But I was just like, that's what you get for being so damn eager. You had how many connections before, these girls came in? You tarnished both of them just to get a chance to explore these two new girls. And one of them isn't even a contender whatsoever. And the other girl is focused on another guy. Anyways. We shift over to Andrew, who's also on this double date. He feels like he's found the love of his life. The mother of his kids, the wife, like, she is the one. They're both deciding to keep their options open because, as we know, he just gave all of these, big affirmations to Katya. But also, Brooklyn is checking for Noah, so she doesn't want to close herself off too soon. I also think that the attraction is not quite there with her and Andrew, but she doesn't want to say that. She's more so into Noah's aesthetic. They both think that she's like drop dead gorgeous. I think she's leaning more towards Noah than she is Andrew. So back at the villa, we have Ty, who, as we know, is head over heels for Jade. But Jade still has eyes for Godwin. It's been kind of awkward between Jade and Godwin. They haven't really touched base too much since that whole miscommunication and then resolving the miscommunication about like gender roles and stuff. So Ty is like, you know what? If I'm going to get ahead of the game, I need to do something big. He gets her flowers. He plans a picnic. And he was actually brave enough to get a kiss from her. It was a very quick kiss. Very, very like, literally, that was it. But he was like, you know what? I've done a lot. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so proud. If you are into me, like, that'll be great. If you're not, just let me know. Literally, that's all I want. Just let me know. It was sad to hear Jade say, this has been the biggest gesture that has ever been done for her. Nobody has ever courted her in this way. Literally, it was a flower from one of the trees. It was a picnic on the beach and a peck at the end of the night. That's really sad. And honestly, I'm not even like shaming her or anything because before my boyfriend, I think I had the same, like what guy was really courting me for real? Like, yes, I would go on dates. Like there were guys who were chivalrous and stuff like that, but like courting me in an intentional way, I don't think that that's something that's as common for us, like who are dating in 2025. Like it just doesn't seem, it seems like people just don't want to court anymore. Like dating is not as serious as it used to be. I mean, now it's all about, situationship or, year-long talking stages or, we're exclusive, but we're not in a relationship, but we love each other, but we... It's so confusing. It's so dumb. Like I can't. I miss like seeing those big romantic dates, like a chariot ride or just like a big bouquet. And people still do. I'm not making it seem like people don't do that. But when I look at myself, like my history before this current man and like the history of my friends around me, it's not common. And it's sad that it's not common. And it was sad to see Jade say that this is the biggest gesture she's ever gotten in 28 years. Anyways, Sarah is somebody who we haven't really talked about too much. She is really into a guy named Jake. Now, I don't know if they'll ever get something going, but she's excited to go on a date. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get a V card. Like, I want to take Jake on a date. She does, however, find a V card, but it's not for her. It is for Godwin. Godwin is told that he needs to find somebody to go on a date with, whoever he thinks is his top person. I genuinely thought he would have picked Jade. However, he chose Daya to go on the date. So The date with Dea was zip lining and then I think a picnic as well. The show really loves a picnic. Okay. I think there's been 3 picnics now. So he is very scared of heights, but he ends up indulging, right? He had a great time. He even went a second time as well. And you can see that they're doing this like little dance of like, yeah, I want to kiss you, but I'm not quite sure. Like, should I not? Dea actually goes in for a cheek kiss. And I thought that he was going to like play into that whole thing, like, oh, do you really want to go into it more? But he doesn't. He literally turns around and walks away. I said, oh, okay. Later on their date, she gets emotional because he is affirming her in such a beautiful way. Basically, he was like, I'm the type of guy who likes to cater to a woman, especially a woman like you who, you know, caters for everybody else. I feel like you overextend yourself and it's sad to see that people aren't doing the same for you. And so I want to show up for you in that way. I want to care for you. I want to cater to you. And she got emotional and I loved that. And I thought for a moment he was actually going to kiss her. He didn't. He brings up the fact that he still has like feelings for Jade. And I was thinking to myself, like, this is not the time to bring that up. Like, you just had a romantic date. And I guess I do have to be grateful for the fact that he's not leading this girl on. Like, if it's not there yet, physically or romantically for you, then don't lead her on at all. If you still have feelings for somebody else, then sort that out before you make a decision. But just the way that he was talking, it sounded as if that was going to be the natural progression. And so for him to throw in another girl in the mix, I was just like, Godwin, what do you want? You know, what is this? I don't know. I can't really read him, but whatever. Speaking of not kissing, we have Noah who goes to Maddie. After Maddie did this big gesture, you know, she wrote him a poem. She was waiting in like the love boat for him. They had a big like makeout session and stuff. A few days after, he says to her, you know what? I think we have to like put all of that on ice. I think we're just going to have to be friends because it's just a lot of pressure on me. I'm feeling a lot. And I think I'm just going to go and, just sort myself out. He is obviously lying. We know that he likes Brooklyn. We know that he doesn't want to hurt Maddie's feelings. He literally was like, oh no, Brooklyn is into Andrew. Like, I would never pursue somebody who's also pursuing my friend. Bold-faced lie. And I'm thinking to myself, like, not to say he shouldn't go for who he wants or he should force it with somebody who he doesn't want. But like, you actually like Maddie. You think that she's attractive. You've had good conversations. You appreciate the gestures that she's done for you, but you're going to tarnish that off of like a chance with somebody else. I don't know. I don't like how Noah dates at all. I also don't like the way that Andrew dates too, because Andrew is now feeling like there's going to be some pressure on him because Noah's now a free man. And so he plans this date by the beach for Brooklyn. He gets like cookies and they eat together and stuff. And this is nice, but now all the women are looking at both of these men like, are they playing a game? Because you had 2 good connections being Noah and you tarnished both of them for this like new shiny thing. With Andrew, you made these big declarations to Katya literally the day before, and now you see a new girl and you're moving completely different. Like, what is going on, right? Literally, Katya was so irritated because he had done more for Brooklyn in a day than he had done for her in a week. That's kind of sad. I'll give Andrew a little bit of grace because Katya for a second there was playing hard to get. And it is kind of hard to show up for somebody who's playing hard to get. You also don't want to get your feelings hurt, right? But yeah, Andrew and Noah, not a good look at all. So Katya decides, you know what? I'm just going to ask him point blank, like, yo, who's your number one? Because I'm hearing that you're saying Brooklyn is your number one. And Andrew's like, no. I said Brooklyn is like the number one person who I want to pursue right now. And you are my number one, like deepest connection. Andrew, it doesn't have to be this difficult. Like, how can you have 2 number ones? What do you mean? It's number 1 and number 2. But Katya's like, I will never be anybody's number 2. I'm removing myself. She falls back completely. She's like, I'm done. I'm out. And honestly, I love that for her. What I don't love is that leaving this connection, she's now thinking, this is why I don't open up. This is why I don't get vulnerable. I'm never doing this again. That's not the takeaway. That is not the takeaway. I think they should have had like a professional, like a dating coach or a therapist on this show, educators, like sex educators. They should have had more people on this show to help these people with dating because, whew, they're just making some interesting decisions. In the next episodes, we'll see what happens between this love triangle. Who's Brooklyn gonna pick? Is Katya really done? What's Rachel gonna do? Because I don't think Michael's coming back. What's Mike gonna do? Because I don't think Carissa's coming back. Like, I have so many questions, and we'll get the answers next week. I'm also thinking of doing the cast reveal for Survivor because I do want us to talk about Survivor on this show. So yeah, you guys let me know how you're feeling the show Are You My First so far. If you're a late bloomer like me, let's sound off in the chat, guy. Maybe not. Wait, maybe you don't want to expose yourself. Anyways, if this show resonated with you, let me say that. Let me know in the comments down below. I know that I felt seen watching this. I'm like, oh, that was me like 3, 4, 5 years ago. How cute, how sweet. Anyways, that's all for me today. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.